Hello and welcome back to my garage. Today in the shop a Opel Zafira. This is the first model, at least. Yeah, I do believe this is the first model. This car has some things that need to be done. One of the things is the disc brakes, and that is what we're going to do. I have here a set from Delphi with some massive pads. These are insanely wide. This is one of the widest I've ever seen on a normal passenger car. So hopefully it's the correct one. Also, of course, the rotor itself. These are quite hefty for the size. Well, it should work, hopefully. Well, there are brakes. We're going to fit them on the car. I cannot say any more. So let's get started working on the car. Well, we have seen this style caliper before. These springs. That's just a signature thing of ATA. So we do know that this is a ATA system. Somebody already smashed these things, but we get them off. As you can see, these have indeed these big, pads. This is a pretty beefy caliper. And like always, we start with removing these caps. Behind these caps are the slide pins, and the slide pins are holding the top piece of the caliper in place. And these are most of the time 7. And like I said many times before, in most standard kits doesn't include a 7. So be sure that you check your kit if you have one. Most of the time I just remove the bottom one. There is something strange going on with my air system. Most people won't complain, but it looks like the tools are more powerful. So there's probably something going on with the air regulator. Now we can let's unhook the sensor wire first. For some reason I did not get these things. I probably should have checked. I'm not going to get this thing all the way loose. It's just held in place with, I just make some little bit of room. Maybe I can just unhook it here. And I can. Maybe these are reusable. So now we can lift it up. But first we're going to just push back the caliper, or the piston of the caliper. If you want to reuse anything, don't do it like this. You're probably going to damage at least your pads. But because we're going to replace it anyway, I don't care. And by the way, it's not that the pads are worn or the brakes are... Well, how do I say it? Well, the pads are definitely not worn. It's that and this side isn't that bad, but the other side, the wear pattern on the disc is very minimal on one side. I will get it in video later. And that's why we need to replace these. So it's not all the way back, and if we're lucky we can just... Well, we cannot. Some of these you can just lift them up, some don't, so we need to remove both. sliding pins. So let's put it somewhere to the side. As you can see, these pads are perfectly fine, but you're never only going to replace the disc. Well, you probably can see there is also a big lip right here. So I do think in the past, and I don't know if I did it, I don't think I did it, that they only changed the pads and not the rotor. So now we need to remove that. No torques. Okay. Now we need to remove this, the caliper saddle or the bracket. And these are 19. A bit loose for 19. Is this 19? Yeah. How is 18? 18 is better. There's just a lot of rust on those things. So 18 is it. It is. At the front side we have one of these Allen keys. In this case is a number 5. That's a weird stubby little thing. Well, it needs some persuasion. A little bit more. You can see it also here. The pad did not get the whole plane of the disc brake. The other side is much worse than this. Also, well, as you can see, there is a giant lip. So these are definitely just end of life. Brand new shock. Ah, shocking. Yeah, this is another video. Brakes. Well, first of all, what we want to do is clean this face. It's a little bit more rusty than I want it to be. So let me clean it up and then we can put on the new stuff. Just a scuffing pad. Maybe some DW40 or something. Maybe a wire brush. Well, that's really sad. Then we're going to grease it up. So let's see if Delphi had some new bolts for these things. No new bolts, but the old one is just fine. But that's a bit of a bummer. Well, not that the old bolt is fine, but we did not get a new one. This one, of course, is still a 5. Of course, we're going to clean it all up later. Yes, also a new ball joint. Also another video. And like always, we need to clean that little cradle thingy. Always do where the pads rise. That is the most important part. Sometimes there are some well, shims here, but in this case there aren't any. So just clean them up as good as you can. Just use some brake cleaner to get well, get rid of the dust, or that is not as dusty. And now, of course, we place that bracket back and install the bolts. These are still 18. Next up, we put here some anti-seize in those areas that we cleaned. Just be sure that you have two types of pads. This is the outer pad that's going right here with that noise thingy. And the other one has that clip that goes into the piston of the caliper. And that one is going right here. But we have to push this one into the piston first. Next up are the slide pins. These are also a little bit corroded, so I am going to use the Scotch Brite to clean it up as good as I can. And after that, some silicone paste. Well, normally some silicone paste, but I always use this stuff from ATA. And the other one, of course, as well. And of course we cap it off with those caps. And we still need to put back this sensor thing that clips into the brake pad right there. And this one was routed something like this. And the last thing at the front, we need to install that spring thing again. And after that, of course, we need to clean everything up. And there you have it, how to change some disc brakes on a Opel Zafira 1.8, and this is of course the first generation. Typical brake job, nothing too complicated. I did run into a snag on the other side of the car. The caliper holder, those bolts right here, or where the glide pins go, they were just completely rotten out. So I tried to repair it with a repair kit, but I wasn't successful. So I bought a second-hand unit and put it in its place, and it is all fine and dandy. But because of that, we're now a couple of days later. So yeah, stuff like that sometimes happens. Well, the reason, of course, why it needed to be replaced was especially of the back side of the discs. There isn't a really big contact patch, and other than that, these were getting quite thin. The pads were just fine, no problems there, but if you change the disc brakes, then you also change the pads. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, or at least learned something from it. And if you did, please give it a like. If you want to follow me around, you know what to do. And I will see you next time. Bye.